welcome to Econ with Wes. In this video, we are going to look at market equilibrium. This is where we bring the concept of demand and supply together. Let's look at market equilibrium. Let's begin by drawing a demand and supply diagram, okay? So we're going to label these axes P and Q. Okay, in the previous video on demand, we labeled this quantity demanded, and for the video for supply, we labeled it quantity supplied. So the quantity Q represents the quantity demanded and the quantity supplied. Okay, the Q represents the quantity demanded and the quantity supplied. I am just going to label this diagram Q. Okay, let's draw a downward sloping demand curve and an upward sloping supply curve. Now, where they meet, this point here, this is known as the equilibrium point. Okay, this is the equilibrium point. Now, the equilibrium point is the price where demand and supply are equal. Okay, it's the price where demand and supply are equal. They are the same. Now, this can also be known as, actually, let's just draw the dotted line here, and we can label this PE for price equilibrium and QE for quantity equilibrium. Now, the price equilibrium can also be known as the market clearing price, the market clearing price. And this is because it is the price in which all of the products are bought up by the consumers. You know, there are no unsold stock. The market is cleared. Okay, so one other thing we can now work out here is the total revenue. Okay, so the formula for total revenue is the price of the product multiplied by the quantity. Now, QE also represents the actual quantity of the product sold. This is the actual quantity. Okay, so if the price was let's say 10 units, or whatever currency we're talking about, it could be pounds, 10 pounds, and the quantity let's say is 5 products are sold, that means the price would be 10 and the quantity would be 5, and that will give us a total revenue of 50. Okay, so the total revenue is the price times quantity. Now, let's have a look at what happens to the price equilibrium and quantity equilibrium when there is a shift in either supply or demand. Okay, so let's draw a new diagram, price and quantity, downward sloping demand curve, upward sloping supply curve, price equilibrium, quantity equilibrium. Now, let's say there's been an increase in demand, and that could be for various reasons. And there was a video on the determinants of demand, the factors which can cause a shift in demand. So let's just say that the population of the economy has increased. So therefore, the demand has increased. Now, as a result of that increase in demand, the quantity equilibrium has increased, and also the quantity equilibrium has also increased. Okay. Now let's have a look at what happens when there is a decrease in demand. Let's say that firms have spent less money on advertising. So therefore, as a result, there are less people, less consumers aware that the product exists. So therefore, therefore consumers are going to be less willing and less able to demand the product. So demand will decrease. That's an inward shift. But we now have a new equilibrium point, and at this new equilibrium point, the price equilibrium decreases and the quantity equilibrium also decreases from QE to QE1. Now let's look what happens when there's an increase and a decrease in the supply of the product. Let's see what impact that has on price equilibrium and quantity equilibrium. So let's say there's been an increase in supply. Let's say there's been some advancements in technology. Or let's say that the cost of production has decreased so that firms are more willing and more able to supply products, so there will be an increase in supply. Now, as a result of the increase in supply, we have a new equilibrium point. And here we can see that the price equilibrium has decreased from PE to PE1, decrease, and that the quantity equilibrium has increased from QE to QE1. Now let's have a look at what would happen when there has been a decrease in supply. Okay, a decrease in supply. Let's say the cost of production has increased, and therefore firms are going to be less willing and less able to supply products. So the supply will decrease to the left-hand side, which is an inward shift. We have a new equilibrium point here. We will label that PE1, and we can see that price equilibrium has increased. That means the price of the product has increased. And also that there has been a decrease in quantity equilibrium. I hope you enjoyed the video on market equilibrium. Please like and subscribe to this channel. Look out for future content videos, and thank you very much for watching.